Good morning, legendary listeners, and welcome to the Legendary Ladies podcast. This week is me, Amy, and Kat. Morgan is out this week, which I'm actually really bummed about because I wanted to know her opinions on the political thriller The Diplomat. So we're kind of taking a pause in our spooky season because my spooky season pick is Frankenstein with Oscar Isaac, but that doesn't release until today. So we'll be releasing our review of that next week, and that's my spooky season pick. So sorry,
Oscar
Kat.
Isaac's in it? Oh, wow,
Yeah,
he is. I didn't know that. 'Cause
yeah, he is.
I,
He's Victor.
I was thinking about Jacob Elordi because I know he plays Frankenstein, so he's been
Mm,
like the face of it, but I didn't know
uh-huh.
Oscar Isaac was in it. And
Well,
then Mia Goth is in
no,
it?
so
Yeah.
Frankenstein is not the name of the monster. Victor
Oh.
Frankenstein is the doctor. Is Oscar
What is
Isaac?
Jacob's name
He's the
then?
creature. It's referred to
Creature.
as the creature.
Okay. We'll see what the movie ends up
It's a
doing.
very common, like it happens all the time. People are like, Frankenstein, and people are like, no,
The Doctor
Mary Shelley,
Frankenstein.
that's Dr. Frankenstein. But there's I'm excited. So we're gonna do Frankenstein next week. I have been a huge fan of The Diplomat since it came out because I love political thrillers. And it's funny because if you asked me, what is one of your favorite type of TV shows? I don't think I would have been like, it's clearly political thriller until I watched the entirety of The West Wing in no time flat. And then I
And when's
looked
the first
back at
time you
all the
saw The West
shows
Wing? You saw it as an
uh,
adult, right? Or
as an adult, like
uh,
within this last year.
that
But
was the
then,
first time you saw it.
yes, I realized all of some of my favorite shows. Like, I love Madam Secretary. I love The Diplomat. And I'm like, oh, these are all political dramas and political thrillers. I guess I
Mm.
love these. So I need to watch, like, The House of Cards next. Except for every time I start House of Cards, I know that it's going to go downhill because of the Kevin Spacey drama. And I don't know if I want to start a show knowing that it's not going to end well. So if anyone can convince me to watch at least the first few seasons, please
Or
message
another
us.
show.
Or another show. Yeah, send me another one. I honestly want to go and rewatch The West Wing again. Like it's that good, Kat. So Diplomat season 3 just came out. It has been so the original show came out, season 1 came out in 2023. Stars
And
Kerri.
how many? It's 3 seasons. Oh, okay, so
Three
that makes sense.
seasons,
Yeah.
and each season's only 6 to 8 episodes.
Oh,
It's got Kerri Russel in it, which is she's like also a producer on it, and it's got Rufus Sewell, who I love.
what's he
Later
usually in?
seasons, Rufus Sewell, he did Man in the High Castle. He was in like A Knight's Tale. He was in The Illusionist, Victoria.
That's
Like,
very Amy.
yes. I'm just listing all the shows that you're like, oh yeah,
Never
like
seen
he was
any
in.
of those.
Yeah. I love his work because he was in. Oh gosh, and then I actually fell in love with him when he did Tristan and Isolde, which again is the most Amy thing you've ever heard. In
I'd
your
never
life.
even heard of that one. At least the other ones, I'm like, oh, I know what that is.
It's when James Franco does the most god awful British accent, and yet I watch Tristan and Isolde on a regular basis.
You had to if it was that much up your alley. You had to finish it.
Oh yeah, no. I watch it frequently. I like the kind of period dramas like that that are very. It's got like a very quiet, almost. It's got drama and everything, and it's got a love story, but it's very mellow, and it kind of like keeps your heart rate down and keeps you into. I really love it. Anyway, so yeah, Rufus Sewell, Kerri Russell, love them. Season 3 just came out and had Bradley Whitford and Allison Janney, who are two
Allison Janney too.
characters
That's
from
interesting.
The West Wing.
I didn't know Allison
And
Janney started there because you think of her as more of a comedic actress now. I mean, dramatic but comedic.
she's arguably one of the top 3 things that makes The West Wing so spectacular. If you look up like top monologues of The West Wing, 4 out of 5 of them are gonna be hers. I actually have a couple of hers in my back pocket for auditions. Like, that's, the writing is so good, but her delivery of it. I think I really truly think you would enjoy The West Wing from a character perspective. Season 1's a little rocky, but after that they get kind of past, like, it's very Legends of Tomorrow. It's very like the producers told them this is what we want season 1 to be, or like the first half of season 1, and then they're like, just so you know, this is doing really well. Can you stop telling us what to do and let us do our own show? And once Aaron Sorkin kind of got the reins to do what he wanted, woof, West Wing really takes off. So Diplomat has all of those big names in it, with kind of this political thriller of someone who clearly doesn't want to be a political character. Like, so I very quickly was in for the Diplomat within about 20 minutes. So I love it. Season 3 just came out. It's getting a lot of buzz. You know, when you log into Netflix and you see the top 10s
I was going to mention that. That's why I was like, oh, is it a season 3, or is it just that always people are watching it?
It's, since season 3 came out, it has been between 4 and 7 on the ranking for the last several weeks, which I've noticed, because usually something comes out, it's big, and then it leaves. This has actually stayed in it. So I think people are starting it.
Different generations, because you have the Felicity people who like her. I like her because of The Americans. I really enjoy The Americans a lot.
Which I need to watch.
I recommend that. I definitely
maybe that's what I need to do. Maybe that's my next show.
And I think it ended pretty well. I think I didn't watch the last season, but I watched the last episode, and I remember enjoying it. So The Americans came out, and then and also this show, I do think older people probably will watch it. It'll be for them. So I think different generations, besides Gen Z, is probably not watching it.
Well, I don't know. I mean, so there's something to be said about the fact that political thrillers are grounded in reality, but innately willing to touch on and sometimes solve problems that you don't get a chance to solve in real life. They are often highly unrealistic because they give you a hope in your political system that may not actually exist. So there is, I would be curious to see if we have any listeners who are Gen Z who find themselves drawn to political dramas. Madam Secretary is a great example of one that goes a little bit too far on the positive scale the last few seasons, because the last few seasons happened between 2016 and 2018, right when a certain administration was starting, and basically the writers were like, oh, look at everything we don't like happening in the real world. What if we can solve it on our show? And unfortunately, it was almost too unrealistic, but at the same time, I still watched it. But I'm into political thrillers for the characters. I like the character development that happens to fall around the political drama, because that's like something that grounds it. That's like the episodic nature of the show, of like having the baddie of the week or the monster of the week is whatever political crisis is going on. But I like the character stuff behind the scenes. So that's why I'm so attracted to political thrillers, and why I love just political dramas in general, and why I love The Diplomat. I was actually surprised would like to know what you think. I have no idea if Kat is going to find herself enjoying political dramas. So, lay it on me.
I'll say this felt like and what I was going to say too, this felt like a network show in some ways. And I think the serialization nature of that is something I personally could not get into, but I think it, unlike your Bridgertons and your, other shows, I think this is something I could enjoy if I watched more of. I don't know if it convinced me to watch more of it, because again, I have the compare and contrast of the political stuff I enjoy. Like, I really like The Americans, probably less for the idea of the political drama of it all, but the spy aspect I think is really interesting, because I don't know if you know anything about The Americans, but for the audience, it's a show about these Soviet Union spies who have to live as Americans. Like, and it happened in real life that they are spies, and it's also about their relationship, which they end up getting married in real life, where they start falling in love with each other, even though this was a fake relationship. So I enjoyed. Oh,
you love that.
Exactly. And
that's one of Kat's favorite tropes.
I love that trope. I also enjoy tropes where you like look at America in particular. Like, I really enjoy the American commentary. And that's
Mm,
obviously a big commentary about like
yeah.
what is the American dream. And I love that. That's the side of political stories I really enjoy. Um, and then I really like Veep for that reason too. Like it's a comedic version of like
Uh-huh.
what's going on in the White House. So taking us out of that and literally going to London and doing international affairs didn't tickle my fancy as much. But I'd be curious to see where it went. You know, I think that's something I think as a pilot, I don't know if it convinced me. I wanted to like the
Agreed.
characters a lot more. Like I wanted to feel really engrossed in them. Like Kerri Russell's character is a little bit hands off because that's her character. The husband, they're not the solid ground because they're having a rocky relationship. There's nothing you could like feel, oh my God, this is like what I'm gonna like be the POV
Mm-hmm.
character and like really enjoy. I think everyone's a little stilted in this episode and this pilot, which is a weird choice for a pilot.
I would argue this is one of those dramas where streaming dramas that we talk about where there's no true pilot. I would say this was I think straight to series, and don't quote
Which
me
makes
on that,
sense
but
for
I don't think that this was written as a pilot. I think that this was
mm.
written as a serialized like a season.
Which you see with the
So I think they
cliffhanger
sold a
too.
season.
That was like,
Yes.
oh, okay, that's where it's going. And you know, another show I guess you could consider political because it deals with like journalism is the morning show. Because that was another one that I could
Mm,
almost compare it to. And I really like the
yes.
morning show because Reese Witherspoon's character starts out as this kind of golden child and like she really loves journalism, wants to tell the truth. So you have something there that's a little different. And I don't know if the diplomat did that with its characters with this first episode, besides like putting up the pieces of like this is what's going on in our international affairs.
Hmm.
This is what's going on. Kerri Russell is thrusted into this London setting. So I just wish there was just like a little more ounce of personality or a hook, honestly, where it's like, what makes this different than other besides being in London? What makes this different personality wise than other political dramas?
I I agree that there is it took me a while to actually like Kerri Russell's
Mm.
character. Um and even as the show progresses, there's a running joke of I just want to give her a hairbrush. Like I just wanted to brush her hair. Because and it
She's
might be
too
the kind of thing
busy.
where yeah, and that kind of style that she chooses of like I'm too busy to do my hair, like it drives me nuts because I'm like, oh, well, I have to look presentable and everything every day at work, so do you. But I think so there's a character, the foreign secretary of England, who she meets very briefly. uh Dennison is a major character from here on out, and we get him for
Mm.
like 30 seconds in this
Yeah.
episode. And one
I
of
think
the
they talk
major
about him, but they don't. Yeah, you didn't really see him
yeah,
very
you
often.
you see him, he's like, "Hello, it's good to see you." And then you get this quick moment of like sexual tension. They build on that. And so
Mm.
very quickly you
That's why
start
you
to
like
oh yeah. Very
it.
very quickly you start to see this little will they won't they thing, but she's in a relationship, but she's not in a relationship. She's going to be a
Sure.
vice president, but she can't be a vice president if she's going to get a divorce.
Right, and that was
And
the conflict of this pilot, where
yeah,
all that information is thrown at you, where it's just like she can't, and
it's a
that's what
lot.
it's a lot for a pilot, where you're like, well, do I like these people? Like, wait, give me a second. Like, what do I like about
And
this?
the president doesn't show up again. Like not really. Bobby, his chief of staff, who's calling and making all the deals, she barely shows up again. You get a little bit of her. The CIA agent, the like very like straightforward, she's like, "Hi, I'm here to help." Idra Park, she becomes a major factor. Stewart becomes a major factor. Like the English side becomes big. The American side they kind of leave behind. And so
Which
yes,
makes
you've got the
sense
drama.
because of what it is. It's
What
a
it
show called
is.
The Diplomat.
Yeah, and the prime minister, his character, man, you just want to throttle him within the next episode. You're like, I think I hate you. So, but I would agree. I don't think it's a good pilot. I don't know if I could answer why I continued watching. I think for me it was the attraction of Rufus Sewell, the actor, because I know how good he is. Um, that I was just like, you know what? I kind of want to see where this goes. And I enjoyed it from then on out. But I would agree, it's not a super solid pilot. It's, it's banking on the fact that they know they have the star factor. that they
Sure.
know that people who might be starting this over at the very beginning know they've got a whole season. It's a pretty easy watch. You can just keep going, and all of a sudden you go, oh, crumb, the season's over. Like, it's pretty easy to just breeze
Because it's only
through.
6 or 7, yeah.
So it's not a huge commitment, but I definitely, between each season, I found myself being like, I want the next season right now. Um, what were your takes? Because it's very character driven.
Mm.
What were your takes on some of the characters as they're being introduced? Are there characters where it was like too much character
Definitely too
introduction?
many, because
Yeah,
I think the only ones I
lost
was really
track.
able to grasp were the two leads, where it was the husband and the Kerri Russell's character. Those are the ones where I really could grasp. I know there's that, and I don't know which roles. I don't remember which roles they played,
That's
but
fine.
the woman who was keeping the secret before people, and then the other guy. Like, I feel like they showed up a lot. do not know their names. The one that they're trying to like keep whatever. I don't remember what they're doing, but there's like, oh, only 5 people
Oh,
are allowed to know.
uh,
There's the black guy. The black guy who's
oh
like,
yeah,
oh, but I told the
that's
Secretary of
Dennison.
State, Dennison, and then he was
Oh
talking to
no,
somebody
Rufus.
else.
Okay. Yeah. So there's only so many of them that know that the vice
Yeah,
president is going to be kicked out.
that was it.
This
Yes.
the Secretary of State is not one of them. That's the one who
Yes.
she was on the video conference with. And they're like, that's a problem. And then of course, I think what got me is when they realized that I think the conversation where Rufus, her assistant, is talking to Hal, the husband, and is like, we need to tell her we want her to be vice president. And Hal's like, no, you don't understand. If you tell her that we want to be vice president, she will implode and she'll crawl into a ditch.
Sure.
I think that's what got me. I was like, oh, they're thrusting her into this, and she is not only not going to want this, but she may not be good at it.
Yeah, and I think
Um,
that is interesting, obviously. I almost wish it happened right away, though. Like, I wish that was like scene one, like she becomes this vice,
I
because
like
that's the
that.
part. Yeah, because that's the part I think that was a little boring about this episode, is that it's such a prelude to the exciting
Mm-hmm.
incident.
It is. It's funny because I rewatched this before season 2 came out. I rewatched season 1, so I've already seen this pilot. This will be the third time now,
Wow.
and I found it boring this time. And I only would stick around because I know what's
Where it
coming.
goes, yeah, but it's
Yeah,
hard when you're just watching. And again, this is
it's
not how
hard.
streaming shows work. Like, we do the pilot pod.
We talk about this all the time.
Yeah, and then with the streaming shows, it's a little harder to do, because they're
Mm-hmm.
also like, which also takes the magic of TV out a little bit, because it's like, either way, you should still want people to get to your next episode, even if it's free, and like Netflix kind of pushes you to do it. Like, I still think you need to convince your audience of why they want to watch more. Like, even if it's not structured as a network pilot, because you don't have to wait the
Mm-hmm.
week, you still need to convince people why you want to watch this show, which is probably why a lot of Netflix shows do get canceled, if I'm being honest.
That's a good point. I didn't think about why they get canceled. I guess I always just assumed it was strictly numbers, but I guess strictly numbers is, do people watch it all the way through?
I know there's also a rhyme and reason with how many they order. They like over order pilots,
Mm,
or, shows. And then a lot of times they do put a lot of money into them. And then they're like, ooh, too much money. And
mm-hmm.
then because like, even this, like, you still have to go to London, right? You still have to like, it's still, I guess they film this in London. It seems like they film it in London. So
I
like,
think obviously they film some stuff like on a
you
set,
know,
but that's a good question. I'll look it up and
I
double
I
check.
genuinely don't know either. I thought they did, but again, with a show like this, they could have been like, here's some
It
B
could have been
footage, and
Toronto.
or Toronto. Toronto's a big one. I'm curious about
Yes,
that.
various London locations. Oh, apparently Winfred House or Winfield House is the actual official residence of the U.S. ambassador to the UK.
Huh?
Huh.
Didn't know that.
So used for establishing shots. Yeah. Da 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 da. Yeah. So it does. They did film.
Because Netflix has a lot of international
Yeah.
filming, because they,
Uh-huh.
they have a lot of international appeal. So that's why, if it was a network show, I've been like, oh yeah, they
Mm-hmm.
just did this all on a soundstage. But because it was Netflix, I'm like, oh, they might have filmed some of this in London.
Yeah. Looks like a lot of the stuff that they filmed interior was New
Mhm.
York, which makes sense because then they can
Yeah.
get whatever sort of
And I'm
exteriors they
pretty
need.
sure the Americans was in New York. So I'm guessing Kerri Russell lives in New York.
Lives there. Yeah.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
Now,
So maybe they went for 2 weeks to London, and then they did the rest in
part of
New
me
York.
thought you would really like Kerri Russell's character because she's sort of overtly flawed and she's very hands-offish and very down to the point, let me do my job, but at the same time, like, leave me the fuck alone. I don't know
think she has
why. I thought you would really
potential.
like her. Okay.
I think she has potential, but it's hard with this episode. I just don't know if she was very likable.
I will agree with that.
Because I think I like a flawed, like Unreal is a good example. I don't know if you saw that show, and it's always been a good example of like a female lead. Unreal, it was a Lifetime show, believe it or not, but it was a very like popular show on streaming. So it was a show about this woman who's a producer of a Bachelor type television show. So you see her as the villain. You see that she is forcing people to do these things, but then she also like feels bad for some of the people. So there's this like middle ground of like, okay, she has empathy, but then she's also doing these things. And does she get worse? Does she get better? Those are the flawed characters I like, where you're just like, you don't know what they're going to do next and what they're going to, you know, are they going to be good? Or are they going to be bad? Like there's this like middle ground for them. Here, there's just not enough information, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And maybe as the show goes on, there's more information, but in this pilot, there just wasn't too much to grab onto.
What about just the actual like political side of things? I remember distinctly hating the president. I was like, this guy's a total asshole. And his chief of staff is kind of meanie head. I don't like them. What do you think of the political side? Obviously, we don't know the ramifications yet of whatever's happened. But do you find yourself enjoying the political side of political dramas like this, or do you really, you're just there for the character?
No, I mean, it depends on the concept. Like, I think, again, morning show, which is kind of political, kind of not. That's a good example of the topics that they hit are very modern and very specific. Like the whole first season was Me Too. So you like followed this character that was Me Too'd. And then there's other things that you follow, like about business or capitalism or whatever. I like something very specific like that. So the opening of just like this ship blowing up or whatever was blowing up, I'm like, all right, I mean, that's interesting, I guess. And we'll see what happens, but it's not very specific, I guess.
Yeah, that's fair. What's interesting is it very, very quickly that's the who did it becomes the big issue. Who blew it up? There's a lot of red herrings. There's a lot of drama. You start to realize that the prime minister is rather unstable. He might just blow something up in response to this. And it's up to not only his like foreign secretary, but Kerri Russell's character to be like, whoa, can we not blow up, I don't know, Russia or Iran or whoever you said did this without any evidence, please? So it's a little dramatic, but I would agree. I don't think as its own standalone episode, I don't think it's solid enough to keep someone who's not innately gonna enjoy these sort of shows in on it. But would you watch the next episode? I think by episode 2, you would know. I would say very quickly you'll know if this is for you or not.
If I was someone who watched a lot of television, I'd be like, yeah, why not? I'll put this on the background. But as someone who's very choosy of their television shows, probably not. I don't think this convinced me to want to watch more. But like I said, it wasn't like a hard no like Bridgerton. Just because that I'm like, oh my God, there's nothing here that I would have liked. And also you guys showed me season 3.
Yeah, we really, which ultimately, by the way, I hated season 3.
Oh man, so there you go.
I genuinely really didn't like season 3. It was just, you want to talk about botching characters. It was such a hot mess of a season. It took all the characterization, even within the season. They build characters from episode 1 through like 4 or whatever, and they make a very clear line of what they're doing with the characters, and they're like, nah, we're not gonna stick with that. We're just gonna add some other stuff in there. And I'm like, your character decisions are not going with their established traits here.
Yeah, no, it seemed like you guys didn't even enjoy that season. No.
So this was better than Bridgerton.
Better than Bridgerton. I don't know if it convinced me just yet to watch the next episode, but we're getting there. I think you're you're gonna find a show where like I was like, yeah, let's watch more. But now there's a lot of things coming out that I think we all jointly like. I don't know. Do you watch Stranger Things or you don't watch Stranger
No.
Things? I don't remember.
I started it, and it's not that I don't like it. It's just I fell off of it and never really had enough desire to go back.
That might not be one, but I know obviously Wicked's coming out, so that'll be one that we'll all be on the same page for. So there's some stuff in November coming out.
You know what I want you to watch, because I'd be really curious. Have you seen House of Dynamite on Netflix?
I've never even heard of it.
Okay.
They have a show called House of Cards and House of Dynamite.
Yeah, this is a House of Dynamite is packed with heavy players. It's got Idris Elba, Jared Harris, Rebecca Ferguson. Like, it's great. I recommend going in just knowing that it is a nuclear political.
Oh, I have heard of this. It's by the director who did oh my god, the Hurt Locker and like those type of movies.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Catherine Bigelow.
Yeah.
It's jarring. It is a true like thriller.
I heard mixed reviews on that, so I'd be curious.
And I have mixed reviews. I can't say anything about it without ruining it for you.
Well, maybe we'll watch that. Well, maybe we'll do it for our episode.
There won't be much to discuss. I think it'll just be at the end is what your reaction will be. But I think you need to watch it for a couple reasons. I honestly think it's like it's in basically 3 acts. The first act is stellar. And then things change. And I want to see how you interpret those changes from a writing perspective and a directing perspective. I think it would be interesting to discuss from like a written form and a directorial form, because realistically, it has sparked a lot of debate. And you know what? A director who achieves that is like, I think I've achieved my goal.
No, yeah, you want conversation.
I don't think she wanted to have a perfect film. I don't think she was going to be able to make it, not with the script. But I think it was enough to start a conversation. And I think that's what she wanted, because people are still talking about it. But also,
cool.
Rebecca
I had
Ferguson,
heard of it, so there we go. Yeah. I have heard of that one.
I think you would enjoy it. I think it would be worth watching just the first act and see what you think. And you can either keep watching it or not.
I will definitely put on my list. I have a few movies that on my exactly especially for this year. I like watching a lot of movies for the year, so we'll see if I get to it before December 31st.
I'm so excited for Wicked.
We'll probably cover it here, so
we better.
I think so.
I already know that I'm intending to go on my own because I am going to be a sobbing wreck cat, and I don't want to justify my emotions to anyone. I don't want the person that I'm with to be like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I'm an emotional drama."
I remember you said that about the first one. You were emotional. Phil is like been counting. He always says that he wants to press a button to just skip his life to get to that. So he's very excited. And I expect him to be very emotional.
And all the press is starting, and the big wonderful night that they just had.
Yeah,
there's clips going on, and I was like, like, I'm already
giddy.
Oh my god, I'm so excited for this film.
We'll definitely be talking about it. I think that's gonna be, honestly, let me see. I want to see if it lands after Frankenstein.
3 weeks of episodes. It
does. It would be, we would have to have an episode in between there, but then after that we would have it. So that'd be nice.
Yeah. I'm very excited. Anyway, do you have anything else you want to say about The Diplomat? You probably won't watch more.
Watch The Americans. That would be that's my recommendation. I really watch The Americans. If you like Kerri Russell, I think that's her best political thriller show, and it ends well. I think it's like 5 seasons or something like that. So like I really recommend it. It was on FX. It also doesn't have that network television feel that I think The Diplomat has a little bit more. It feels more like a cable show.
Okay. I like that. I will add it to my list. So those of you who are listening, thank you for joining us. We are on Patreon, so if you want to listen to these episodes live, if you want to join in the chat, get the episodes early, you can find us on Patreon/The Legendary Ladies. Email us if you're a Gen Zer who's watched The Diplomat. Tell me why, because I would like to actually genuinely know. Do you like it because there's hope? I actually recommend. I think Gen Zers should watch The West Wing, and here's why. You'll watch it and you'll be like, oh, this was filmed in the 90s, and yet it could have been filmed yesterday.
Yeah,
It
those are
has
always the
the
good
same
political
challenges. Oh, it's so good.
shows.
But yeah, I think that's going to do it for us. Thank you for joining us on this lovely Friday morning. We hope you all have a wonderful weekend and stay legendary.